Hello everybody and welcome to True North Audio. I am Kiko. Just going to make a real quick video here. I had someone reach out to me a few days ago on the site. They were asking me if you could load our samples into their drum module for their electric kit. And the short answer is yes, you can load WAV files in. However, due to size constraints, we have started compressing our files for both Decent Sampler and Kontakt into FLAC and NCW files so that we don't have to worry about taking up as much space, especially with delivery. Cozy Concrete uncompressed is like 80 gigabytes. It's massive. But I wanted to make a quick video to show you how you can uncompress the files both in Decent Sampler and Kontakt. Should you, for example, have other instruments that you want to do this with as well, and they are compressed for any reason. Also, if you are a sample maker, you basically just sort of follow the steps a little bit in reverse if you want to go the other way around and compress them so that they're not taking as much space up. So first I'm going to do the FLAC files that we use for the Decent Sampler instruments. I recommend doing it this way if you want to do it at all. If for some reason you have something else you want to do it to that's only in Kontakt, then you can do that as well. But with this one, you can select just the files you want to convert and not have to convert everything. I also recommend, if you're able to and you have the space, to kind of make a second copy of whatever instrument you're trying to convert, just so you're not getting things mixed into the original instrument, just because it kind of makes things annoying. So first we have Reaper. This can work in any DAW that supports both FLAC and WAV. I'm just using Reaper because anyone can download it, and it's pretty straightforward. So the one thing to note, one of the reasons that I recommend actually separating these out, is that you have these repeat files, like this guy here. These get added by the Reaper project when you add them into Reaper itself. It can be kind of annoying. Maybe you don't want those in your original instrument. It's not a big deal. I've already dragged and dropped these in, which is why these repeat files are here and why there's already a track here in Reaper in the background. And again, same thing the other way around. If you're trying to compress waves, just select what you want, drag it in. It's going to prompt you when you do so. So if I just drag a few of these, for example, my recommendation is to do the sequential in positions on the same track. And the reason for that is that it will give you what we have on that first track. So going into Reaper here, once you have all of your regions in here, if you're making a sample instrument and you're trying to edit things, you can also edit things. But once you're ready to export these, just double click on the track. You'll select all these little regions, all your little samples. We're going to go into our file menu. We're going to go down here to render, and that is going to give you the option to export all of these individually. First things first, you want to actually export the selected media items. That's going to be the individual regions. So you got 2100 here. This is also, again, the reason I recommend just selecting the ones you want to convert if you're putting them into something else. The directory here is going to be where you want to save them. I'm going to basically browse. I have these examples on my desktop. I'm going to go to the new file I've created here, the new folder, because it also makes sense to keep these separated depending on what you want to do. I would keep all your new converted files in the folder you want them in and not be trying to mix them up or figure out where they're at or anything. It just keeps things more organized. So it's going to save them to that spot. Right here, the file name, you're going to want to select wildcards, and you are going to look for items. And I believe items are media item. There we are, item. Which means that all these files are just going to be the name of that region, which is still going to be the name of the original sample. And I'm going to make sure here that it's just item. There's nothing else at all. I just want it to be the original name and nothing else. Select the bit rate, sample rate, whatever that you want, or that your thing that you're trying to load them in supports. going to be wave, etc., etc. There isn't really a whole lot here other than, for the most part, I would say tracks with only mono media to mono files, just to save you space. So you can also save this as a preset and just load it up as an option. That way you can do this in the future without having to go through and select everything. You can just have whatever your preferences are pre-saved, ready to go. And I have one for converting samples. And then from there you just render. And it's going to take a minute, especially if you got a lot of them. It'll tell you up here how fast it should be. Sometimes it's a little faster, sometimes a little slower. But once those are done, they'll all be in your folder ready to go. All right, once your samples are all saved here, it will tell you that you are finished. It'll tell you how much time it took. All you got to do from here, just close that out. And now you have all your wave samples in the new folder, and you can just take them and use them as one-shots or put them in Drum Machine or whatever. Now, if for some reason you have a Kontakt instrument that you want to do this with, and you don't have any other option, no decent sampler, it doesn't have WAV files, it's all compressed into the NCW format, or even you have a monolith one, for example, that's just the NKI and all the rest of this is packaged inside of the NKI. The way to do that is just open up Kontakt, whatever version you have, drag your instrument in. This is just the free version of Concrete. In Kontakt 7 here, file is over here. Your option to save as might be in a different place depending on what version of Kontakt you're using and even whether or not you're actually in the inside of the instrument. You might have an option up here sometimes or up in here sometimes. The main thing is you just want to make sure that you're saving the instrument as. So I'm going to come out of here and we're just going to save as. This instrument here, Concrete Free. So what I'm going to do is just rename this. We are going to go to the folder that I have set aside, which again is just called Wave Samples. And we are going to save a new version of the instrument in there. You want to make sure that this compressed samples is unselected. That way you are saving as WAV files and not just the standard NCW. You don't want it to be a monolith. You want to save it as patch and samples. Patch only, of course, will not save the samples. So patch and samples, you want it uncompressed. And from there, just make sure that you're putting it in a different folder. I mean, you could put it in the same folder. It won't break anything. But this is, again, just more organized. But you do have to completely resave the entire instrument, and you're not going to be able to just select which samples you want to convert back into the WAV files. It is going to convert every sample in the instrument. And if you're working with something really big, it's going to take you a while. So be prepared to just kind of sit in and wait. But anyway, once you have it selected, save it. It's going to show you this little screen here. It's going to run through, show you which samples it's saving, etc. Pretty straightforward stuff. And once this is done, you will have all of those samples in the new folder ready to go. All right, we're going to go over here. We're going to go into the folder we set aside. Right now, you just have the NKI and this folder for the samples, and there you are. Got wave samples for all the samples that are in this Kontakt instrument. And that's as simple as that. And if you want to go the other way around and you want to compress your Kontakt instrument, even if it's like, say, you have somebody else's Kontakt instrument, you want something that's a little bit smaller, doesn't take up as much space, and they just never bothered to compress it, do the same thing, but compress the samples instead of uncompress. Pretty straightforward. Hopefully that's been helpful. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below, and we'll see you next time.